All right, guys. Another video. This is going to be two parts about our plays that we're really focusing on for the month of May. So we've been doing a lot of different stuff. Me and Coach Danny have been trying to figure out what concepts we want to work with, not only for 7-on-7, but also for the fall. But I think we're essentially going to ride out these concepts and these variations for the rest of our 7-on-7 season. So I don't really want to move on from too many of these. I want to get really good at them, and that way we can get comfortable and really know the details of these plays that I'm going to go over. So, again, if you're on Huddle, you click Playbook. Okay, make sure on the offensive column you're going to click Installs, and we've already had the personnel formations and motions install. We talked about the passing tree. Those are two separate videos, and then we have part one and part two of the actual plays. I'm going to have part one in this video, and then you guys can click the second one when it's made very shortly. So here we go. So this is going to go over our boot and waggle concepts. Again, I'm only going to go over one boot and one waggle concept because I want to get good at two of them. There's going to be a lot more concepts of this pass family when we get into the fall. This is going to be our bread and butter because it's really going to be a way of us selling the run play. So we're going to get really good at more variations of these soon. But then we have the stick, snag, and then one-on-one combos. And then we have our curl flatter, also known as Chicago. So here we go. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the formations. You guys, there's a video for that. But here we go. So it's Dubs left. We're under center. Playboy hot. Okay, so let me quickly just put a dash here so we can all be on the same page here. Playboy hot, boot. Okay, so boot, QB rolls out away from the Y. Okay, so if you're the Y on boot, you're going to run a slice or a bang route. Okay, you're the low man on this combination. Okay, the X is going to run a corner. Right now, we're going to tag you on it. We want to get to the point where you know you run that, but for right now, I'm fine tagging it. And Z's the middle receiver. Okay, again, you got to get to 10 and then slowly build. There's way too many times the middle receiver on boot and waggle are stuck at like 6 or 7 yards. You got to get depth away from the shallow. Our fall progression for the quarterback is read low to high. In 7-on-7, we got to get the ball downfield. I want you to peak high to low. Okay. Again, if you hit 2 yards out, 2-yard outs, you're just not gonna get points in these 7-on-7. So take a peak high, come down to the middle. If it's both not there, try to hit the out or throw it away. All right. And then for the waggle concept. All right. So now we're at a bunch. Okay, waggle means the quarterback rolls out to the Y. Okay, so the Y in waggle is going to run a push out. You're going to sell run for 2 hard steps and then push to the out. Okay, we tag the H on the corner post, and then we have the X now on the over route. Again, get some depth and then build to the middle. So on all the boot and waggle combinations, you have a low, you have a middle, you have a high. So quarterback needs to progress through those. A variation of this, we could do the H on a corner route, and then we could have the F on a seam on the backside. So our regular boot and waggle right now, Playboy, the F just stays in quote-unquote blocks, but in 7-on-7, if we want to send him on a seam, we put the H on a corner, and now we have one more guy running deep. All right, so that's also an option on boot. We just tag the F on a seam. So you guys will see the regular base play, but in the corner, there's some variations we can run to it. All right. Again, there's a lot of ways to dress this up. Coach Danny, has a lot of different formations and motions, but for right now, with where we're trying to get to, we're just going to focus on these two combinations of one boot and one waggle for the next month, in my opinion, for 7-on-7. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to our stick concept. So this is mainly for short yardage, okay? So this is bunch right gun tight 50 Z stick Y shoot. Okay, this is out of flanker. So the Z is going to run a 6-yard sit route. The H is going to get right over the center, run a sit route. The X is going to run a sit route. All right. A variation of this is we can run the X on a corner, try to get a deep route. Another variation is just to yo-yo the Y. And again, that's in a different video about motions. The biggest thing on this is the Z and the H got to get spacing. The Y needs to buzz before he goes out. And then you guys, these dashed lines means you're moving to the open space. You're not sitting in front of a defender. Okay, if the mic's sitting right in front of the center, move in or out away from him to give the quarterback a lane to throw in. All right. For the quarterback, I would look to the out 1 to 2, come back over the middle for 3, or if you think you got a one-on-one, take it with the X. All right, but I would read right to left on this. And this is going to be short yardage, so we're not doing this to get the ball downfield. We're trying to get this for a first down. Okay, now we're going to snag. Okay, snag is essentially an inverse of our stick concept. Okay, so regular stick is a go route and a 6-yard sit. We're just inverting those two players. So the X runs a 6-yard snag route and the H runs a corner. This is double snag, so it's mirrored on both sides. And then again, in 7-on-7, you want to get the ball downfield so we could run a seam to the F. All right. This could, for the read for the quarterback, again, if it's soft zone, probably look to the snags. If it's man, I would try to look downfield and throw it away from the safeties. These dash lines, again, talk to the outside receivers. Do not sit if you're covered. Push out or push in slightly. That's one of the biggest problems we had today at Granite Hills was we had, outside receivers just sitting when they were covered. You guys got to start manipulating these routes a little bit for the quarterback to see you. All right, and this would be out of Bombers personnel. So snag concept is a snag route in a corner. If we tag a snag for an outside receiver, it's just a 6-yard sit close to the hash. Okay, here's double snag with a motion. All right, I want to start getting some more motion in play. So it's the exact same play as I just showed with a motion. So we start in tray left gun out of this would be in flanker or bombers, and we go Y switch, and then we go 59 double snag F seam. All right, so again, we're starting in tray, we motion to dubs, and now we're running the double snag concept. So you're going to see throughout a lot of these diagrams, we have some basic motions to confuse the defense. When we motion, there's two real reasons for it. The quarterback can see if it's man or zone coverage, and it also makes the defenders think, right? When we have 3-by-1 and we motion to 2-by-2, the defense has to think and move a little bit. So that's something that we got to do better for you guys to help get the defense confused, all right? Okay, going into our stick fade concepts. Okay, so this is a 3-by-1 concept. So stick fade is over here. You got a wide hitch, you got a vertical to a fade, and then you got a stick route. Okay, for the stick fade, push vertical to the defender's toes and then fade back. You should be looking towards your left in this concept, in this diagram for a fade. So if quarterback, if it's 3-on-3 or if it's one high, I think the fade could be a good option. What we've been seeing a lot is 4/3 here, so we need to look to the backside, okay? This is written up as X glance. A glance is a hard post, so vertical for 10 yards and a hard post, okay? 52 is a shoot. We can do a lot of different things, though, for the single receiver. We can run a shake route. We can run just TD, vertical. We can run back shoulder. We can run a bench route. Bench is when you nod at 10 and then get wide and vertical. Okay, so the idea is we're isolating the single receiver to the boundary. All right, so quarterback, if it's 4/3, we would have to probably look to the X. We probably got to look to the one-on-one route. If it's 3/3 or one high, we can probably manipulate the safety and go either side we want. Okay, but we got to make sure our X knows that he has a lot of options here, and we'll tag it. Okay, another kind of 3-by-1 concept we can play around with, and this is pretty new for this year. We've ran it in the past. It's called ISO flip. So the Y runs a corner, the H runs a 5-yard dig, the Z runs a 5-yard dig, but he settles in space. Okay, this is a really good goal line play. On the backside, we can tag X snag, and we can run F corner. Okay, so the whole play, tray right gun, 58 ISO flip, talks to these 3 right receivers, X snag, F corner. So again, quarterback, if it's 3-on-3, I would look to the ISO flip side. If it's 4-on-3, I would come back over to the F corner to the snag. Again, the X cannot just sit and be covered. You need to move to where you're open. All right. Next, another route to get the one-on-one, single receiver side looked at. So tray right ISO flip again, X comeback. We could put the F on a seam. So the 6 and 7 are verticals. Okay, so come back, push to 14, come back down to 12. We need to hit this a lot more than what we're doing right now in 7-on-7. Okay, we got to be able to get this thrown and caught a lot more, and I need to call it more for the offense. Okay, Let's see, this is just with motion now. So Dub's right gun, H switch. Okay, let him get set. Stick fade to the right. I need to add this route for the H. So on stick fade, he's going to run vertical, and he's going to run a fade route. Okay, so let me save that. And then we got X glance, but we also have all the variations we can tag. So pretty similar to what we already talked about. Okay, next concept is Chicago. Okay, Chicago C for curl. This is really a curl flat combination. Okay, so if you guys look at, if we don't tag wheel, okay, it's just a post curl to a push out. Okay, push means you stutter and then you push to the out. The post curl needs to be a skinny post to 12 and come back down to 10. Again, the squiggly lines, outside receivers, get open. Stop sitting in front of a linebacker. Move in, move out so the quarterback can see you. All right. An easy tag on this is 56. The F runs a seam down the middle of the field. Okay. If we tag wheel, the slot runs out and up, out and up. Okay. Quarterback, again, you know, the curls are usually open in zone coverage. The wheels are usually what we want to hit in man coverage. And, you know, again, you just got to kind of scan the field, get what you like. If it's too high, you might have this seam route. But this route has been good for us this spring. For today specifically, it wasn't great. So we need to get better at working it. Variation we could do is just have the slots run corners. So it's very similar to smash F seam. That would be one variation. Let me just go back here and see if I missed any variations. I don't think I did. All right. So the next variation of Chicago, okay, is Hank. Okay. I would like to not have to call Chicago Hank because it's an extra word. Okay. If we just call Hank, it is a Chicago concept. The biggest difference is the Y sits at 9 yards and gets open. All right. So the play right here is Trey right gun, 58 Chicago, or just Hank. And if we tag wheel, which we do a lot in 7-on-7, we tag that. All right. Quarterback, your first look is always going to be at the Y on Hank. Okay. So if it's soft zone and it opens up, hit it. Otherwise, I would go field curl, because that usually has a lot of space for him to get open, or boundary wheel. Okay, some variations. We can run 54 Y pipe. So pipe means the Y runs a seam. 54 is a chair out for the running back. X sin is a 10-yard speed in. Okay, that's one variation. Another variation, we could just motion to it. We can go Dubs right gun, and we can go H switch to it. Okay, so again, these are some different variations that we could look at. So this is the first half of the install that I really want to focus on for the next month. Again, 2 boot waggle concepts. We have our stick fade, snag concepts, and then we have one-on-one combos. So for the X, and then we have Chicago. All right. We have another, essentially all our other Denver and our railroad and our Vegas concepts are going to be in the second video. All right. Thanks.